Any diet that has caused you to lose weight very quickly is a diet that is not sustainable. You will gain the weight back and then some. I've seen it thousands of times with women all over the world. Welcome to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast, the podcast where we debunk the eat less, move more, shrink more mentality and focus on what really matters, which includes your relationship with your body, food, self-worth, and the behaviors that align with all of those. I'm your host, Christina Hathaway, licensed therapist with specialized training in food and body obsession, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. At the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast, we believe what you say in your mind, you see in the mirror. So let's have a conversation about that. Before we get into today's episode, I want to make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, if you don't want to miss any content that's being dropped, make sure you hit that notification bell as well. I also want to know who are the people you want to hear from on this show and what topics would you like me to continue to cover. Thank you so much for your continued support. Now, let's get into the episode. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast. I'm so excited you took this time out for yourself to learn something about your health. And today we're doing our question and answer, our Q&A. If you're wondering where these questions are asked, it is in my Women's Weight Loss and Workout Support Group on Facebook. I will link it below for you to join. Please join. Please ask your questions there. Not only will you be able to ask questions here on the podcast, but also Coach Liv is going to be doing some Zoom calls every week to teach different things. Maybe not every week. We haven't really decided that yet. But we are in there constantly answering your questions, DMing you, making sure that you get the right information. And it's the two of us. So you literally get to coach with us. She's in there more than me. However, I sneak in and we'll do some different things there. So again, it's Women's Weight Loss and Workout Support. You can find that below. Also, with that said, keep in mind we have the holidays coming up. And one of my favorite things to do with clients, because a lot of women will think, oh, I'm just going to wait to start my journey of health transformation after the holidays, right? Everyone waits until January 1st. We are open. We are taking clients and having support through the holidays and being able to show yourself that I can not only stay in alignment with my health and wellness goals throughout the holidays, but also I'm able to learn how to navigate different scenarios with a coach. You're basically, when you coach with us throughout the holidays, you're getting kind of this advanced study when it comes to what we do, because you're going to be put in different scenarios where we can teach you tools. Whereas throughout the year, usually those scenarios are not as back to back. So if you're interested in coaching with us, we have both one-to-one coaching, which is our most intimate, high-touch program, as well as our group coaching program. Check out the show notes for that, because I'm going to tell you, I think last year I was on Mind Pump. Was that last year or 2 years ago? 2 years ago. I was on Mind Pump around October, the end of October. And I had a ton of clients sign up at the end of October, November. I'm not even shitting you. Those clients have been my most successful clients, because I truly think that being able to put kind of putting yourself in the trenches and being like, okay, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn it with someone by my side. And I'm not going to do this bullshit where I'm going to eat all this food and then try to lose it come January 1, when now you've just, dug yourself into a hole. So if you're interested, check that out. Okay. Again, we're going to talk about some questions today. So the first question, this is a hilarious question. It's like, my boyfriend of 12 months said that I would look stunning if I lost weight. I need some advice on the best fat loss diet and exercise program so I can lose weight, look stunning, and dump him. When I first saw this, I was like, please don't tell me she's doing this for him. Amazing. And shout out to our group members, because y'all came in and came correct. So number one, for the men out there, don't ever fucking say that. Don't ever say that to your person, because, and I'm going to say something and I don't mean this, but unless you are Brad Pitt, you have this healthy habits and lifestyle that you're practicing what you preach, right? You don't need to be telling anyone about their diet and exercise. You shouldn't, even if you're Brad Pitt, you shouldn't be doing that. So no body comments. I hate body comments. However, best diet and exercise program. Number one, calorie deficit, baby. We're going to, well, actually, I want to see what you're eating first. I want to see how you're currently eating. I want to see the types of food you're eating. I want to see how much protein, carbs, fats you're intaking. I want to see what your water intake looks like. I want to see what your sleep looks like. That's going to be our foundational period. That foundational period is exactly what it sounds like. We're building a foundation and being able to make small changes to your nutritional habits so that you can build some consistency. Consistency builds confidence. Confidence builds motivation to keep going. That's how it works. Then once you're ready, we're going to go into a traditional calorie deficit. So in our foundational period, we're going to learn your true maintenance, meaning how many calories your body needs to just maintain the weight you're currently at. Then from there, when we're ready for an intentional fat loss phase, we're going to cut those calories by about 300 to 500 calories, depending on your particular circumstances. Meaning, if you are someone who really struggles with the scarcity mindset around food and heavy calorie deficits cause you to binge, then we're just going to go a little bit slow. Right now, I'm working with a client where we're doing a reverse deficit, 100 calories every couple of weeks, and it's working brilliantly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stay in that calorie deficit anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks, diet break for a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, then repeat until we get to your preferred weight range or body composition. We don't always have to keep repeating the calorie deficit. We can take longer diet breaks, reverse diet, and work in maintenance where we're building. In regards to exercise, if you want to look your absolute best, ladies, you better be picking up some weights and some heavy weights. I will tell you, I have multiple clients who strength train with me. And every time I'm on these calls with them, I'm like, hey, I know your husband has adjustable dumbbells. Please use them, because they keep using the same 12s and 15s when they're getting stronger. And when we do that, we're basically going through the motions of strength training, but we're not seeing results. Not only do we want to resistance train, we want to make sure that we're focusing on progressive overload. We're going to increase our reps, our sets, and our weights over time. And through that, plus focusing on compound movements, your squat, your deadlift, your rows, your overheads, your overhead press, your chest press, your planks, your farmer carries, I'd say other things, but they're more advanced. You are going to create the most beautiful body, and you're going to feel stronger. You're going to look amazing. Your posture is going to be better. You're going to have more energy. You're going to naturally build your metabolism. You're going to be so amazing that dumping his ass is going to just, it's not even going to be a thing. And not because of the way you look, because the confidence that you build in this process, the confidence in keeping promises to yourself, the confidence in doing hard things, the hopefully doing the work mentally, to recognize like it doesn't matter what you look like. Your worth is in your existence. However, you also have building respect for yourself and taking care of yourself and all those things. So that is what I would do. That is what I would do. I know Coach Liv had messaged you. This is an anonymous caller or anonymous group member. And I will also link this in the I will link this to your comment in the group, so you will get my feedback. Okay, next one, also anonymous. Just a question. Is it bad if I don't work out the rest of the week? I work out every other day. I worked out yesterday. And tomorrow I have an appointment and construction going on and just feel a little overwhelmed with it all. I could definitely get a workout in before the appointment, but I'll feel overwhelmed between doing that, getting ready, and leaving on time. And the construction in my home, I just feel overwhelmed with life lately. Will it affect my body negatively if I take a few days off and start back on Sunday? Number one, I love this question. Now, a lot of you are going to be like, no, we're a rest. Why I love this question is because this individual looked at her days ahead and said, I could get a workout in, but I also know that I'm going to like stretch myself thin. That type of proactive thinking is huge. I need to do a whole episode on proactive thinking. And the way I think of proactive thinking is I'm making a choice for myself now and for my future self. And that's exactly what this individual is doing. That skill once you can do that, it works. It is one of the things that really can undo a lot of the mental barriers I see with a lot of clients. So yes, absolutely, you can take the rest of the week off if you want to, and you just get back to it when you have the time and energy to do it. Because remember, exercise is definitely a stress reliever. However, if we already have compounding stress in our lives because of the variety of things you got going on, it can actually be a stress inducer or add to our stress. So if you've done a couple of workouts and for the rest of the week, it just doesn't fit in until Sunday, you will not lose any progress. You might even see your progress increase because you took those days off. Now you've got this like freshly rested, prepped, recovered body that's going to go into that workout on Sunday and just crush it. So good for you. Huge plus, huge plus in being able to be proactive in your thinking, recognize, I don't want to stretch myself thin. Plus, when you stretch yourself thin, oftentimes your workouts suck and then you feel even worse. I had a client recently who came home from a trip, and this particular client and I have been working for about 8 months together, and she really does struggle with this kind of rigidity around her exercise and diet. But her lifestyle, and by lifestyle, her career, is one where she's traveling often. And then also her and her family will have travel. And it really gets to her. So we really work on what's in my control. So she came back from this trip having, held her daughter throughout the trip, obviously traveling, being on an airplane, all those things, and came back to her workout on Monday knowing that she shouldn't have. And she messaged me. She said, I did a workout. It was fucking terrible. I should have just rested. Right. And so what this gal is doing is saying, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. Because also, if you think about it, you guys, when you force yourself to work out when you're already stretched thin, the workout starts to have a negative connotation. Like, I have to do it. I don't have a choice in doing this. And nobody likes to be forced to do anything. Whereas when you have a choice, you always have a choice. You have a choice to do the workout or not. You have a choice to have protein in your meal or not. You have a choice to skip the donut or not. You always have a choice. And when we can say, yeah, I can do this, or I can just wait until Sunday and like have a really great workout on Sunday and then get back to life, then you have a choice. You have a better relationship. You have a better belief around exercise. So yes. And I hope that you follow through with it. Awesome. The next is from Elizabeth. Elizabeth asks, do I have any tips on incorporating running or cardio in general for toning her stomach and legs? She's been doing a mile on the treadmill or a mile on the elliptical, but hasn't been seeing results. She's been looking to consider trying running. She's been consistently working out since October and is looking for any helpful tips. Amazing consistency, Elizabeth. I think it's wonderful that you've created this routine for yourself. And we want to continue this routine. However, when it comes to wanting to see tone, as they call it, that is going to come from your diet. And then also is going to come from a building phase, which are two different phases of health or of the journey. So to lose body fat, we must eat in a calorie deficit. A calorie deficit is going to be something where we eat less calories in the day than we burn. Now, keep in mind what you're seeing your calorie burn on your treadmill and your elliptical is not what I'm talking about. This is a specific algorithm that takes into account your age, your height, your current weight, then what kind of job do you have? Do you have a sedentary job or do you have a pretty active job? Then also, how many days a week are we engaging in actual planned exercise? So that's like going to the gym and doing those things. And not what we want to do, where are we at now that we're doing on average? Because what I'll have a lot of people, when I first started in this industry, and I didn't even realize, people will say, oh, I work out 4 days a week. Do you work out 4 days a week or do you want to work out 4 days a week? Because when I'm doing your calculations and I calculate 4 days a week and you're only doing 2 days a week, that's going to be a different calorie deficit. That's going to be different maintenance in general. So anywho, that is the algorithm. And we're going to eat in that calorie deficit for, as I said already, 8 to 12 weeks. Take anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks off and give our body a rest. In that 1 to 4 week period, we're going to eat at maintenance, which is basically the same amount of calories you're burning. You're going to eat that same amount of calories. And in maintenance, we can begin to build muscle. That's where the tone look comes from. So you got to think like a steak, you have this lean muscle. And when we have body fat, that just like we'll say like a ribeye has that kind of marbled fat around the lean part of the steak. You're a woman who makes it all happen. The deadlines, the deals, the demands. You're disciplined, capable, and results driven. But lately, it's taking a lot more effort to feel like yourself. You're still achieving. You're not thriving. And deep down, you know, success shouldn't cost your energy, your focus, or your peace. You don't need another plan. You need a strategy that matches your ambition. You've built a life around achievement, but no one ever taught you how to sustain it. Most high-performing women are operating with fractured systems. Great work ethic, but poor recovery. A strong body, but an overwhelmed mind. A plan for success, but not for longevity. You don't need more hustle. You need alignment. Your nervous system, nutrition, and training working with you, not against you. Hi, I'm Christina Hathaway, founder and CEO of The Mindset of Matter, a company built to help ambitious women master high performance from the inside out. I have a master's degree in marriage and family therapy with specialized training in food and body obsession, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who spent over 15 years helping women reprogram their relationship with achievement, food, and their body that they lead from. I integrate clinical psychology, behavioral science, and performance physiology to create what most programs miss: a complete strategy for mental clarity, physical resilience, and sustainable success. This isn't just life coaching. This is human performance training for elite women, where therapy meets science and strategy meets embodiment. This Black Friday, I'm opening a limited time opportunity to work with me directly, offering $775 off our 6 months one-to-one mentorship. This is a personalized, high-touch transformation program where therapy meets training and nutrition. We'll rebuild your energy, your metabolism, and your mindset so you can lead with clarity, confidence, and strength that lasts. Or also $775 off our 6-month group mentorship with Coach Liv, with my direct oversight and involvement in monthly calls. Same science-backed framework delivered in a community for women who want accountability, precision, and power alongside other overachievers. There are no strict meal plans. There's no hustle culture. There is no one-size-fits-all routines. You'll get an evidence-based system that blends therapeutic insight to regulate your nervous system and rewire your relationship with yourself, nutrition strategy to fuel your focus, stabilize your energy, and restore metabolic health, performance training that builds strength, stamina, and resilience without sacrificing your recovery. Because structure isn't the enemy, misalignment is. When your body and mind are optimized, you don't just get results, you keep them. This is the blueprint for you to become unstoppable. This Black Friday offer is open for a limited time only. When it closes, it closes. No extensions, no exceptions. If you're ready to stop settling for functioning and start operating at your full potential, this is your power move. Because wellness isn't self-care, it's a performance strategy. And the women who understand that, they don't just succeed, they lead this standard. The Mindset of Matter, where therapy meets physiology, where high-achieving women come to lead stronger, think clearer, and live with unmatched power. The calorie deficit trims off that part, and the maintenance and building phase helps to build that lean muscle. Now, how do we do that? We are going to want to incorporate some strength training. Cardio is great for your heart. Cardio helps you to really have a strong cardiovascular health. Cardio, however, is what we call catabolic. And when we're in a catabolic state, it means that we're breaking down tissue. We're not building tissue. Why would we break down tissue? Well, we do it for energy. And oftentimes, cardio it requires a lot of energy to get through, say, a 60-minute bike ride. I was doing for those who don't know, I was doing a 300-mile challenge in October where I was riding roughly 10 miles per day. And that required a lot of my energy. I had to change the way I ate because of it. And when we are in a catabolic phase, what our body ends up doing is breaking down our muscle. Okay. And the other thing in a catabolic phase, or in cardio in general, is that in cardio, we only burn those calories in that moment in time. There's no burning afterwards. Whereas in strength training, we're in an anabolic phase, especially when we're eating at maintenance or a slight surplus. We are building tissue. And with that building of tissue, you are going to create those sleek legs that you're thinking about. You're going to start to see, maybe even form some abdominal muscles. I mean, your abdominal muscles are always there, you guys. But maybe, starting to see a little bit of shape in those muscles. Not for everyone. That's purely genetic, really. You'll start to see definition in your shoulders, your glutes, all of that. So strength training and eating at maintenance or a slight surplus is going to build the tissue that women, when they're looking at women online and they think they're toned, that's what this is. What a lot of women think is that they need to do cardio because that's how you lose weight. Yes, you can lose muscle, you can lose fat. You're going to be skinny fat. That's the opposite of tone. We want to strength train and then go through these phases between calorie deficit, maintenance and building, calorie deficit, maintenance and building, until you get to the place where you're feeling fabulous. Then at that point, we're going to just live at maintenance and building for as long as we need to, and then maybe doing some small calorie deficits once a year or before a trip or something like that. That is the way to do it. If you want to, if you enjoy running or you enjoy the treadmill, I love walking. Walk on that treadmill as much as you want. I love walking, especially when it's low intensity. We want to keep walking. But if you like to run, maybe just do a run here and there. If you are going to add running in, then we also need to adjust our calorie intake. We need to actually eat more to make up for the calories burned so that we don't go into a place where our body starts to adapt, meaning that you're putting out all this effort and your body is not showing any results because it's adapted, because you're not feeding it enough. So when you can actually, like for me, when I first started the bike rides, I started getting really fatigued, and I was like, I need to eat more. I need to eat before the bike ride and then shortly after the bike ride. And that was a game changer for me. I had no issues after that. So that's what I would do. Hopefully that's helpful. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, another anonymous group member. I've been in a calorie deficit for about 2 months now. And the only working out that I do is walking on the treadmill a few days a week. I'm losing weight for sure, but the only noticeable loss to me is my booty. Is there any way to keep my booty a little perkier while I'm losing weight? I've always been under the impression that booty workouts and stuff is for growing muscles. I'm not trying to do that right now. I'm just trying to keep it from being saggy. Thank you in advance. What I'm hearing here is that we're afraid that we're going to get bulky. You will not get bulky. If you want your ass to not sag, you gotta strength train. Okay? Okay. Build the muscle. The reason why your butt might look saggy is because you don't have muscle. So you can't, there's the only thing you can do is build muscle. Like I just talked about with being skinny, as they call it, skinny fat. You probably have a lot of fat tissue on your booty. And as you continue to lose weight, right, it's just kind of, there's nothing reinforcing it because muscle is very lean and dense, right? You have this dense, beautiful tissue, whereas fat is not. So you're just kind of seeing this like shape, you're losing that shape. with someone who it sounds like doesn't strength train, you actually can just start doing some hip thrusts, glute bridges, squats, deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, sumo squats, sumo deadlifts. I like glute focused step ups. I like glute focused leg presses. I like kickbacks when they're done correctly. If you can begin to do those 2 to 3 days a week, I guarantee you'll start to see some shape in your butt. Now, you're in a calorie deficit, which means you're not necessarily building, but for someone who's new to training, you do get what we call newbie gains. And newbie gains are basically us seeing a little pop in that muscle. However, at a certain point, we should not be living in a calorie deficit. So when you're ready to not live in a calorie deficit, I would bring my calories up slowly until I hit maintenance. So again, I'm eating more, but I'm not losing or gaining weight. I'm just staying steady with the weight range that I want to be in. Then from there, you can definitely start building your muscle and your glutes and focus on, again, hitting those glute muscles 2 to 3 days a week. Then I would have 2 full body days, or I guess you could do 2 to 3 days of glute focus moves. And then you can also add the other parts of your body, depending on how much time you have, because most women usually could work out 2 to 3 days a week. So always hitting glutes, but then incorporating the other compound movements. Again, maybe like your overhead press, your row, your chest press, because if we're already hitting glutes, we're hitting our squats, our deadlifts, our hip thrusts. So I'm sorry to tell you, and again, this misconception that booty workouts and stuff is for growing muscles. Your butt not being saggy requires you to grow muscle. And that's it. That's it. I have nothing else to say. So that's it, anonymous friend. Okay. Last question, 2 questions. Let's do 2 more. I'm going back a little bit because we haven't done this in a while. I'm looking for workout apps and fitness YouTube channels. I don't care if I have to pay for the apps. I just want more organization so it's easier for me to get and stay motivated. Love this question from Megan. I love a good app, especially when it's something that you can follow along with, meaning that you can input your reps, your sets, your weights, being able to follow an organized, well-phased program. What does that mean? A program that builds over time and allows for my body to experience some novelty and change in the workout. A program that is building on the most effective exercises, meaning your compound movements, not just your accessories, which a lot of programs we see do that. A program that is focused in compounds and strength training and not these like multi-exercise movements. I see this a lot advertised to women where it's a move where we're doing a deadlift to an upright row to an overhead press, okay? Or a squat to a bicep curl. Why those types of programs are terrible for you is, as I've been talking about this whole time, strength training is so very important if you want to create shape in your body. And if I am doing a bicep curl and a squat, what weight am I going to choose? The squat weight or the bicep curl weight? I'm going to choose the bicep curl weight because I can't bicep curl my squat weight. So what am I doing? I am basically keeping my quads without any sort of stress on them because a bicep curl weight is like nothing to my quads. And I'm not getting a good workout. I'm just huffing and puffing. Another thing you'll see in some programs is they do junk volume. I was at an event with friends and I did this sculpt program, and it was this like really high endurance with a band. And after a certain amount of time, form was compromised for most people around. I was watching everyone. And even my own form, until I was like cognizant of it and I, fixed it, was being compromised after a certain amount of time. So the best apps are going to be the ones that focus on the things that I'm talking about. Your compound movements, a place where you can follow your progress, your reps, your sets, your weights, where they have your rest times, You're going to want to have instructional videos. Make sure they have instructional videos. Make sure that there's like form breakdown. And then one of the things that I love for our workout program is there's also an opportunity to get a form check in the comments. A lot of people who are on the Mindset of Movement app, which is basically the EverFit app that I have and is a workout program similar to what you're looking for, they don't take advantage of this, where you can literally in the comments send a form video and one of us will answer you back with form. The Mindset of Movement is 5 different training programs. So you have a choice between a 5-day gym split, which is different body parts each day, or a 3-day gym split, which is 3 full body workouts. You have a 5-day dumbbell only split, or a 3-day full body dumbbell only split. You have 3 time crunch workouts, which are dumbbell only, more high intensity workouts where it's an AMRAP, as many rounds as possible, with the same 4 to 5 workouts, which are all compound movements. We have body weight and bands for my beginners, or people maybe who travel, or people who are just beginning, starting over again into their journey. And we have 3 core add-on programs. So the Mindset of Movement app is free for you guys for the first month, and then $29 thereafter. Plus, you get access to some insights that you don't normally get access to, because you're going to get messages from me. You're going to know about different challenges, upcoming events, and things like that. So highly, highly recommend the Mindset of Movement. Another program that I love is the Arnold Schwarzenegger, I forget what it's called, Iron Club. It's a really great program. I also like Paragon training. Paragon has a great app. Another one that I love that's more advanced is Marcus Philly. He does the Persist app. It is more advanced, but I absolutely love his stuff as well. In regards to YouTube, Caroline Garvin is one that a lot of people talk about, and I know she has the Iron series, which focuses on like full body versus lower body. Now, if you're going to do a YouTube program, find a series that is hopefully going to be the same, 4 to 5 workouts every week over a course of X amount of weeks, and then they change. But what I find a lot of people do is they're just finding different workouts. Why we don't want to do that is because, again, we want to be able to see our progression. We want to see how you're getting stronger. If you're not getting stronger, then you're basically wasting your time. And we want to get stronger. We want to have better form. We want to have better range of motion. We want to have better balance. We want to have better energy throughout our workouts. And so if you're going to look at YouTube, we definitely want to find something that is phased, like in a phase of training. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Okay. So the other ones that I love that don't necessarily, I know they have an app now, are the Mind Pump guys. They have a plethora of programs. When I first started with them, they were PDFs, but I believe now they have an app. So I have not personally used the app, but their programs are really great, and they can be modified because sometimes they are a bit long, but those are the programs that I recommend. All right. Last thing is, I've been working out for 7 days. When do I start to see weight loss on my journey? How long did it take? Well, I would refer you back to the podcast on when will I see results. 7 days of working out is great. However, depending on your goals, we might need to look at nutrition, right? If your goal is to get stronger, then it's going to take longer than 7 days because weight loss is what she says here. So if you're looking for weight loss, you should start looking at your diet. That is what's going to help you lose weight. And over the first 1 to 3 weeks, you're just building foundations and seeing some consistency in your habits. After weeks 4 to 6, we might start feeling a little bit more energetic, starting to have more routine, maybe even starting to see some small changes in our body composition. Then after week 6, we'll start to see consistent weight loss, because really it does take what I do is take the average over time, and not usually until like 5 pounds do people start to realize like, oh, this is working. So after 6 weeks, we're usually in that like 4 to 6 pound weight loss range. And that's when I get people to buy in. And they're like, oh, okay, this is working. However, I'm telling them the first 3 weeks is going to be this. The next couple weeks is going to be this. Then weeks 6 to like 9 are going to be like, oh, now I'm seeing weight loss. And over time, of course, it's going to build into a lifestyle rather than habit. But be patient. Any diet that has caused you to lose weight very quickly is a diet that is not sustainable. You will gain the weight back and then some. I've seen it thousands of times with women all over the world. So when you can be patient and do it the right way, you will be able to sustain it, meaning while it feels like it's taking longer, you will get to your goal faster and keep your goal so you never have to get to that goal again. That's the kicker. People want to get this, I'll deal with this after I lose the weight. They don't. They gain the weight back and then they're just starting at day 1 again. So did you get there quicker? No, you literally had to start over. So that is my recommendation there. Awesome, guys. Well, if you guys have any questions, please give me a follow on Instagram, Mindset of Matter Coaching. I promise to put up the Q&A forms every Sunday. Should I do Sunday? Maybe I'll do it on Fridays now. I have to realize what day works best for me. And I don't think Sundays work best for me because I'm trying to keep boundaries and not work on Sundays. So I'm going to do it on Friday. So I put it into my calendar to make sure that it happens for you guys. And also, don't forget the Women's Weight Loss and Workout Support Group. That group has had a overhaul. We cut a bunch of people out of that group that weren't engaging. I really want it to be a forum for you all to support each other, to take what we're talking about here, if you ever have a question on something I'm saying on the podcast, that is the place for you to go. And so I definitely want you guys in there. I want to hear from you, and we're going to do free challenges. We're going to do a lot of stuff in that group. We're really trying to revamp it. I'm trying to mold it into a forum for this podcast. So please give it a follow. You'll check it out in the show notes below. And if you want more support around the recommendations given, don't forget that we have both our one-to-one, high-touch, very intimate coaching program, as well as our group community program that also provides you as much customization with a group setting. Or I should say customization within a group setting, as well as access to the on-demand workouts in the Mindset of Movement. You get that on top of custom nutrition coaching, weekly group coaching calls, and other things. So if you're interested in that, check out the show notes below. And that's it. So I guess I'll just leave you reminding you of a very important thing, that what you say in your mind, my friend, you see in the mirror. Bye-bye.